fake. Yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women. That bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told him I need major motion. Nigga, I'm joking. I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust. Now I'm too clean. Don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Cause the butter, baby boy. You PK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that econ line to a damn tank. I got chopper stash in that attic like they in Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like ball cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel. I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got it made, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got Ray for real.
Yeah. That boy 144. My nigga Captain Akkad. You representing, sir. Everybody that's joining in. We don't know if anybody in yet. This is just a special edition of Spin the Block. It's the podcast. I know y'all ain't seen us in a while on the podcast. So we said we got to get this thing cranking back up one time. I know ordinarily the gentleman you see on the screen, to my left on the screen. You want to say your name, sir?
Officer Malakama out of Cleveland, Ohio, under Commanding General Yohana.
Khan, Adawan Khan. Got him on the screen. Ordinarily, you know, he'd be on here rocking with me and we be doing our thing. But tonight he's gonna be a guest. He's gonna be a guest on our podcast, Spin the Block podcast. We're gonna give him a little interview just so the people out there can get to know the priest and also see what's on his mind, get to know what's on his mind about life and about the ISUPK, because that's ultimately what it comes back down to. I understand that this ain't one of our mandatory classes we usually have. It's our podcast, so we got a little more freedom to do different things. But tonight we're gonna rock out with an interview. And so like he said, this is the ISUPK. We started out on 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. Been around since 1969. And of course, we're up under the powerful hand of Commanding General Yohana. And where we always got to come on the screen and represent. You understand? We're priests and officers here in the ISUPK. And so there's a protocol to things that we do and how we do it. And that's what it won't be no different tonight. So, sir, without further ado, what you been up to? I know you been a little under the weather lately. So before we start, I want to just check on you.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you calling and checking on me too, brother. I really do. That's what I like about the UPK, the brotherhood, where, you know, brother down, that someone will check on you and make sure you're good. And I appreciate that. I want to salute you on that one.
Gosh, sir. Got to do that. Brotherhood, hey, that's a weapon. Without us all together, it don't mean nothing. You understand? It means a lot though when we all come together, because then that's when you see the power of it. See what the power of the brotherhood is. But I'll see my ribbed and tuned in. Now I'm a shy. Thanks for joining in.
I'm a shy. My sister. That's my sister right there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Sister.
For sure. All right. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right in. And obviously, anybody watching, normally we'll go into some topics and things of that nature, and we may even pull some slides up ordinarily. But tonight, it's going to be more of a chill thing. We're just going to sit and dialogue and do a little interview process. It's just something new. Trying to start up here on the Spin the Block podcast. We got to get this thing rocking. We haven't done it in a while. And of course, down the road, we want to get our other brothers on here with us too. Priest and Officer 50 Nishat and Priest and Officer 50 Bakiyar Gabar. So that's what total out the team of this Spin the Block podcast. They're not in with us tonight, but we're going to rock out by ourselves. And like I said, you got something to say, sir, before I go ahead?
No, I was just, proceeding on. I just wanted to know. You said you had some questions for me. That's what you're doing. You're interviewing me. That's what we're doing today?
Con out of one con, sir.
Okay.
Actually, about 25, 30 questions. And you just answer them to the best of your ability, how you want to answer them. There's no right or wrong answers. We just trying to get to know you, sir. And of course, obviously, I know you, but we want to make sure that everybody who tune in and watch us get to know who we are. I'm sure down the road you'll probably interview me or one of the other brothers or however it go. But tonight we wanted to start out with you. We know you're the highest ranking officer in our podcast. So I definitely wanted to start out with you, sir. So that's pretty much what it's all about.
Okay.
And without further ado, our first question is real simple. Just let the people know, where are you from, sir?
I'm from Massillon, Ohio. I was born in Massillon, Ohio on 2nd Street. I was born in a house.
Didn't
make it to the hospital.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that. So you had midwife or something like that?
No. I just came on out in the kitchen.
Came on out right there.
Yeah, I had to clear that story up. I had to go back and talk to my dad about it because my understanding that I was born on 2nd Street, on the sidewalk. I was like, damn, I'm a straight street nigga. But my dad said it wasn't true. He just cleared it up for me about maybe a year ago. He told me no 2nd Street inside the house in the kitchen.
It's always good to know about yourself, especially in the beginning.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. Early on, sir, as a child, what were your aspirations?
What did I want to do? Of course, like natural, any other so-called black man, our only outlet is sports. So, of course, I aspired to be, I wanted to play sports or wrestle or something of that nature. I wanted to be in sports. Like basketball. I like basketball.
Yeah, that's my favorite sport. Basketball and then boxing. They run neck and neck.
Right.
What was your family dynamic? Did you have both parents in your life? Siblings? What was your dynamic?
No, I was raised by my grandmother, my dad's mother. I have my mother, she had 8 daughters and I would be the 4th boy. So she had 4 boys and 8 girls. I'm
big
11 out of 12.
Big family. Did you grow up in a strict household with your grandmother, or did you basically have freedom to do whatever?
No, I had a little bit too much freedom, to be honest. But where I lived at was a rural area. There was nowhere to go,
So you just pretty much just did your thing.
I did my 1-2. My 1-2. That's what I did.
There you go. What music did you listen to growing up? You a hip hop head? Motown, R&B? What you rocking with?
Both. R&B and hip hop. LL Cool J was my man.
Yes,
that was
sir.
my go-to dude growing up. And R&B, I was into like the 4th grade. I was like punk funk. I liked Rick James.
Oh yeah,
Rick James. Most of my family, they grew up on Prince.
Yeah, Rick was that nigga though.
I like the. Rick was more manly.
Oh yeah.
And all that crying stuff. That had to grow on me, man. I had to see the G's in him later on, but that wasn't manly for me as a child. I was a man's man. I wasn't into all that.
Rick James was a bad boy, man.
Yeah,
he did his thing, But musically, man, that was a bad dude. He definitely was an influence on my life. Growing up on that music side.
My boy, rest in peace, Carl Danzy.
Carl, that's my nigga. Carl,
we love some Rick James.
I miss that nigga. R.I.P. to that brother, man. I ain't seen him in so long, even before he passed. So man, good brother right there, man. Religious or faith-wise, what did you grow up as?
Growing up, I grew up. I can remember as far as I can date back to 4 years old. I was in Church of God in Christ.
Okay.
And as I grew up as a young man, I moved over to like non-denomination.
Okay.
Whatever that means.
So just for the audience, sir. Now you said Church of God in Christ. Now, just to elaborate a little more on that, would that be, Christianity, Protestant, anything like that? People get confused with.
They call it a holiness church. It's Christianity. All of it's Christianity, a banner of Christianity, but different sets of it. So it was like a Holy Ghost. They call it holiness, Holy Ghost filled. All that falling out, acting a damn fool. Putting on that show.
Now you I know you said you grew up basically in like a suburban part of town with your grandmother. Were you ever just going outside the household? Were you ever like in any gangs, or did you have like a crew you hung out with? Like, what was your hangout status like?
I pretty much I would hang out with one of my brothers, fishing and things of that nature, being wild, the wilderness and stuff like that. But as far as like gangs and things like that, I wasn't into that. That little, we call ourselves a gang, but we weren't no real gang. Just a couple of brothers, just hanging out. So no, I was never affiliated to a gang.
Cool. Now just with your hangout, cat she was hanging out with, and in ISUPK, we this is the home of the truth, so we always like to get on people, when it's things that they're not doing right, just to get them straight. But we also let them know that, hey, we walked that path before we got on the straighten up and decided to get our lives right.
Absolutely.
But with that said, sir, have you ever sold drugs or got into drugs and dealt drugs, anything like that?
Yes, I did get into drugs, using, selling. I did both.
You did a little bit of both.
Yeah, I did a little bit of both, but just my cousin, he got murdered when he was 20. He was 25. He got murdered.
Wow.
And but really doing those things, I did it, but it was never in my heart because I was always different. I knew I was different.
Okay.
Certain sins, I did sins like everybody else, but I always was God conscious as a child. And certain things I could only go so far and I have to stop.
God. You started realizing, man, this is about me. It ain't about the cats I hang around.
I was always like separate. I was always different from my brothers and sisters. I always stood out from different. I thought it was weird. I probably am. Who knows?
I definitely got my weird moments.
Say again?
I said I definitely got my weird things about me, my little quirks and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I always felt different. I felt like I never fit in to nothing. When I tried to do evil, it really didn't work for me. It didn't feel right. I felt awkward.
With that said, sir, what was your high school years like as a teenager?
I had my good days and I had my bad days. I grew up in Perry Township. If anybody know, that's a white school. So I guess that's why you kind of, my voice, how I talk, kind of not so much brother, but I'm nigga. I'm niggerish. But my language, my speech, how I pronunciate things. I grew up around white folks.
So after like high school and things of that nature, did you go to college or learn a trade, or what did you do after high school?
That went into the drugs I was talking about. Columbus, Ohio. I used to sell, weed, a little bit of weed, things, and a little bit crack here and there. But I did a little bit of college.
Okay.
Then I had my son. So when I had my son, I had to make a decision because I was living at home with my grandmother. It was time to go. I had to feed my son, so I went into the military.
Realizing you got a responsibility Trying to get things straight. I got
Right.
you on that. And so you kind of answered part of my next 2-part question.
Okay.
It says, as a young man, did you ever get married or have kids? And obviously you said you had a son. Did you ever get married or anything of that nature?
No, came close.
Came close.
I was engaged once.
Okay, kind. Now, as for you finding the truth, what was that first video like, or not just video, but what was that first thing you seen, or that first encounter that you had, that made you question, like, man, what is this, man? This is something here.
Yeah, the bell went off. My sister-in-law, my brother's Vernon, he passed away. You know, rest in peace, Vernon. He his daughter, I mean not his daughter, Slakia, his ex-wife sent me a video of the true Hebrew Israelites, and the fireworks went off.
Wow.
Because I was familiar with the scriptures, but I never applied it to my life that it was talking about, you know, so-called, it's all about me. The Bible's written about me. It's my history book. And I just took off after that. It was no doubt. You couldn't refute those scriptures.
And that's how it is at the beginning too. When it first hit you, man, this thing is so new to you. It's like,
right,
man, you want to see this next video. You get to the point you stand up all night watching 50 million videos.
I was addicted, and I'm still watching. I'm still that way. I'm
still that way as well.
I don't even watch TV. People be watching the football games. If I get a chance to watch it, I will. Nothing else matters to me. It's
don't even get into it like that anymore.
All I care is about the truth. That's all I watch, pretty much.
Kind out of one kind. And with that said, just going into the next question, and it piggybacks right off of this. Why the ISUPK? Why? There's different groups out there. There's different Israelites running around out here. Why the ISUPK in particular?
Because the UPK, you know, the only ones, I know you heard this question, this answer before, but they were the only ones that said they were the home of the truth. And I'm like, damn, I need to go to the home of the truth. But when I start watching the UPK, I also was in the Israelite school before. Because I couldn't catch the UPK. You know, I was, living in Akron, Ohio, LeBron James city, my city.
Shout out to LeBron, the GOAT.
LeBron, big Bron. So I ended up joining the first school that I could encounter, and that was IUIC. So I stayed there about 6 months. It was time for me to go, but my heart was always on a UPK. I couldn't stop watching them.
You realized quickly you had to get up out of there.
Yeah, I had, man, listen to me. When I was in there, it felt like a Christian church when I was in there. It had a Christian feel because a lot of backbiting and the brothers not getting along. They're fighting for position, and it wasn't no brotherhood. But the UPK, I just couldn't listen to me. I couldn't stop watching it. It was like I was like an addict. You know what I mean? Because they were just bringing what they were saying was practical knowledge. It was making sense. It wasn't that spookism, as they call it, you know. And I always wanted to be. I just wanted to be there. That's what I feel. I feel like the scripture says that our footsteps are numbered, and I felt the Most High. That's where He wanted me to be at because I couldn't get away from it, and I'm in it today.
Damn right. And then being in this truth after you didn't got in here, what scriptures got your attention to say, damn, this is really the truth? Like when you heard a scripture and then you heard a brother break it down that was already in the truth, perhaps a captain or a general or whoever it was, just brought this particular scripture out, and you was like, yeah, this is it. I know I'm in here now.
Yeah. What scripture was the one that stood out for me was you should be sold to your enemies. It said enemies. It didn't say friends. Ooh. Friends don't put friends on slave boats. So I like, yeah, everybody know we were sold. You know, we were sold.
28.
Yeah. So yeah, I like your enemy, and also it went into like scriptures that you won't have no assurance of your life. You would tremble day and night, and I knew.
Wow.
and Revelations 2:9 also.
Let them know.
It was a hard hitter on me. And let me tell you one more. There was another one, not to be long-winded. It was Isaiah.
The 14:21.
1 and 3.
The 1 and 3. Yeah. Got
the ox knows
his
owner's ass his master crib, but Israel does not know.
Yes.
I was like, we don't know who we are. That was a no-brainer right there. That was powerful.
Yeah, those were some powerful ones for sure. Some of them same ones got me as well, sir.
They got you.
How did you contact the ISUPK? What made you join?
Well, I wasn't going to join no more schools, but I still was coming around. You know, they had cookout, I was there. They had Passover, I'm going. I just thought I was going to just, I got me a travel trailer. And I was going to just follow the UPK wherever they went for their holy day. That's what I was going to do, be a nomad. And what happened was my rib, she got in contact. When I showed her what was what, and I showed her all the schools, and I told her the UPK, this is where it's at right here. This is the truth, home of the truth. And it was so funny about that, not to change the subject. It was another brother that I was contemplating joining their school. That was the AOC. So, I did stood out there, did a couple camps with them, but I didn't join. And we had a long talk. I'm not going to say his name because, he's still under their general charge. So, but we're still good friends. We still talk today. And he told me that UPK was the home of the truth. He said, that's what you want to learn. He said, you're going to learn more with the UPK.
Oh, so a brother, not to cut you off, sir. So a brother from another camp told you that the ISUPK was the home of the truth.
Absolutely.
Now, if that don't tell you that this is the home of the truth, I don't know what does.
That story sounds like Captain Cesar's story. Remember,
a lot like that.
Yeah,
sure.
Another brother told me where the truth was at. He was in a different school.
That's powerful. That lets you know how the ISUPK affect others, man. Like you got some of these other cats, they talk their trash in these other camps, these other groups. And they like to talk their trash about us because they say we too hard and we say this and we say that. We only get it real, man. This ain't only the home of the truth, but here in the ISUPK, we speak the truth. Yeah. And if we telling you dealing with a fake ass group, a fake ass Israelite group, and it's not the home of the truth, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And I think them brothers know that.
Yeah, that hit home with me this past Thursday. Cap was teaching on the fake Israelite schools, and it really sunk in that I got it now. Totally, I really got it now. God. And just to hear how he was talking about, how these brothers go now start teaching the other nations can be saved. That's ridiculous. I would never follow nothing like that,
Right.
And so it hit home, and he was right. Those brothers got some wisdom because they were right. They were right.
Damn right. Here in the UPK, obviously, we don't celebrate holidays or birthdays or anything like that, any of them pagan days. How did that affect you when you first came in, and how did it affect your family?
About doing holidays? Well, to be honest, Officer Shalak, a lot of those things, when I came into truth, let me break it down to you a little bit. I came in reverse. And what I mean by reverse, some things I start doing already on my own. Unconscious of why I was doing it. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I get you, sir.
I stopped doing those things, eating pork and all that stuff already. Same and doing Christmas. I stopped doing those a long time ago. I got my identity at the end. I'll start reading the Bible for myself. You get that? The tithes, all that stuff. Start reading it for myself. I didn't have all the complete understanding. I didn't know what was what, but I knew some of these I saw these holy days in the Bible that no one does. And I'm like, even though I didn't know I was a Jew, but if we supposed to be following the Jews, right? They have the oracles of God. I understood that part. Why aren't we doing what the Jewish people doing if we're following their God? Christianity doesn't do none of those things. You know, they have Hanukkah, all kind of things you read in the Bible, and they're doing the opposite thing, but they say they believe in God. It didn't make sense. So I did it in reverse. I found out I got my identity at the end. I'm not saying everything is at the end, but I found out who I was later on before I did the other things before. That makes sense too.
That shows you how the Most High had his hand on you.
Yeah, that's
what he was communicating with your spirit all along.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about how I knew I was different. I felt weird. You know, I'll have days I like big depression because I didn't fit in. I was never meant to fit in. My spirit was always knew something was wrong, but I just thought it was just me, something wrong with me. So I had a conversation with myself in my head, and while I battle myself and thinking something is wrong with me. A lot of sad days.
Right. Makes sense.
But now I understand it now, 40 years later.
Right. Sometimes it'll take a little while, and then you just see the big picture after a while. That's how it works sometimes. Now, how challenging is it being in the truth?
How challenging is it to be in the truth? It's always a challenge in everything that you do. Because you got to die to yourself. You got to be born again. You understand? So daily, you got to die to yourself for how you are or how you used to be.
Damn right.
Then you got others that come against you. And what Christ said, he didn't come to bring peace on earth, he come to bring a sword. So you got to battle your family, you got to battle your friends, and you got to even go out on camp. And really, I don't want to do none of those things. But that's what I have to do.
You have to do understand? It, it's part of the work.
Yeah, no. Who wants to argue with people and you know they just don't believe, and it's frustrating at times. But more and more you do it, you kind of understand that this is the scripture prophecy being fulfilled, and roll with it or get rolled over. And I really roll with it to get rolled over. So I'm gonna just go serve the Lord and just let that be that. And whatever happens, that's his creation. Let him worry about it. I'm not gonna be crying or brokenhearted no more about it.
Damn right, sir.
And one more thing, why would I not want to live like this? I mean, even when I argue with my family, I had a conversation with my aunt last week, and I said, they mad at me because Christ said don't eat pork. God said don't eat pork. Don't sleep with other nations. Don't steal. Don't do these things. And I'm talking to my aunt. She talked about, I had to let her know. I said, what you're saying is against the Bible. You're anti-Bible. You're talking about don't discuss politics and religion. I said, was it Proverbs 25:8? Debate thy cause. I said, you're against the Bible. The Bible says, debate thy cause, that you discover not a secret amongst your neighbor.
Damn right, sir. And
I'm telling her, I said, she said, no one's perfect. I said, I'm perfect. She said, what you mean you perfect? I said, I didn't kill nobody today. I didn't eat no pork today. I didn't tell a lie today. I said, what you think repentance is, Auntie? It's about repenting, being born again. That's what Christ came. Have we been perfect? No, but I'm perfect today. I said, did you do any of those things today? No. I said, that's what it is. That's so I said, you set yourself up for failure when you say you can't be perfect. That gives you room to sin.
That's real heavy right there, sir. Real heavy. And with that said, you kind of, in so many words, answered it when you said, why not do this?
Why not? I mean, you're arguing with me about keeping God's laws. How evil is that? I said, what I'm doing so wrong? Because I don't steal from somebody, that's wrong. You mad about that?
And with that said, I already know the answer to this next question. Then, what you saying that? You ever thought about quitting or walking away from the truth?
Oh, absolutely. The flesh don't want to do certain things because sometimes it's testing. Yeah, sometimes my flesh want to quit, but I can't. My spirit won't let me.
I don't want.
This is the way I'm going to die.
I don't want, sir. I definitely agree with that.
I'm too in. I know. Look, what they say. You know too much. If I tell you I had to kill you, I know too much.
You speaking for both of us on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna die this way, and that's just how it is.
You see that, viewers? You see that, viewers? If you're viewing in, interviewing the priest right here, you just heard what he said. He gonna die in here. You understand? That's how powerful this is. We give you the truth. This is the home of the truth. I'm asking this man questions, and he giving me all truth. And it don't matter what people think or any of that type of thing. The truth is the truth. And this is what makes us be free. When you can speak the truth and don't have nothing to hide and nothing to sit on or be ashamed of. When you make these changes in your life, like the big priest did and like myself did, the Most High start doing things for us that probably he never done before. You understand? Like things start opening up for us and things start happening for us and opening up where they weren't opening up before. You understand? So this is one of those things, I guess, you know, when you was growing up and you hear people say stuff like, you know, if God be with you, who can be against you? This is very true in the ISUPK. Y'all didn't know that before. This is very, very, very true. With that said, going into my next question, how did you feel about, you know, about the Bible before the truth? Well, and you kind of answered a little bit when you said you was doing your own reading.
I'll touch on it just a little bit then. Shalak, I'll just touch on it. I always believed in the Bible. No burning. I just didn't understand the Bible. I'll make it real short and sweet. I was always connected to it, but didn't understand it.
That's powerful. What is it like going to the Passover? And how is it celebrating holy days versus those days that you celebrating the pagan holidays?
Well, doing those feast days and Passover, man, it's powerful. It's powerful. People come from all over the earth. The 12 tribes, where we would never come together hardly ever. Wouldn't even know each other. Let me tell you something about that Passover. That Passover is something special. And before I came into the school, I was coming as a guest. And those brothers welcomed me. I mean, these brothers was just, even the sisters, you know, they were these people, you could tell they care about you. You get what I'm saying? They care. I mean, I never seen where you could just let your child run free. You could be on one side of the campground and it's your child on another side. You understand? And someone's always watching your child. It's like, remember back in the days where you do something, the neighbors will whoop you, then tell your mom you get a whooping again when you get home. It was that very well. Deal. We were like a tribe, a family, and that's how it was. You know, that's how it is in the for the Passover. You just let your kid run wild, and they're always being watched by somebody.
Always being protected.
Protected, yeah.
We got brothers on Shamar who you don't even see on Shamar, watching all corners of the facility where we at. And that's a powerful, powerful thing right there. Going into the next question, sir. Do you drink, and why is drinking allowed in the ISUPK? A lot of people have that question because they'll see some brothers drinking during the class or anything like that. Can you elaborate on some of that stuff?
Yeah, drinking is they get that from the Christian church that you can't drink. I mean, if you just use common sense and stop being ridiculous, you know, what was the first miracle Christ did? He didn't make somebody see first.
Turning that water into wine.
It was the wine. And then Christians come talk about it's not fermented. What are you talking about? If the alcohol was definitely fermented. Do you remember Lot's daughter? Was they drinking Kool-Aid then?
God.
Okay.
Enough said with that.
Man.
What are your plans and goals in the ISUPK as far as the ISUPK goes?
Well, my plans, my goals, I have a few goals. First of all, I want to help build up Ohio and make sure that you make captain.
Here you go.
Yeah. So you make captain. See, I'm going to exalt you over me, brother, because you got a great work to do. I see it in you. You know, so I know my place. I got no problems with, you know, following orders. You can, I'm gonna just make sure you get built up and for the betterment, because I know you're the man for the task. Then I'm gonna move on.
Christ,
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go back to my nomadic ways. I'm thinking about getting some land or something, but I'm just move on. I want to learn how to farm, so I'm going to the woods. That's where I'm going.
God, UPK has a ranking order, much like the Army. Why is that?
Oh, that's biblical.
Kind of.
You go into scriptures and find rank. What? Well, let me ask you this: have you ever heard the church talk about the army of the Lord?
Never.
You never heard that term, the army of the Lord? They even sing the songs about it.
Oh yeah, I heard that in the song, the army of the Lord.
Yeah, I heard that in the army.
But I never heard nobody like preach on that or break any of that down or anything like that.
When you is it Ezekiel where it talks about this great exceeding army? In armies, it's always rank. Orders being passed down. That's how it works. You see that in other nations in rank. It's the same thing with the spiritual army.
Kind out of one kind.
It's rank.
And I know these are questions that get asked a lot. So I definitely try to think on the outside. Obviously, I know a lot of the answers to these questions, but there's people that's watching that ask questions all the time. They'll ask me. I'm sure they ask you and others when they're out and about. So I just I say, you know what? I ask some of these questions that I know people would want to know or have, because there's also people that be asking questions because their mind is inquiring whether they want to come into the UPK or not. So they'll ask all these questions, then you won't hear from them for a long time. Then they'll pop up with some more questions. Like, brother, you just need to come on up in here, man. But don't ever be afraid to ask no questions. That's what I always tell them. So I just said during this opportunity of this interview, and anybody else that I'll interview going down the road, I'll be sure to ask these questions because people want to hear it. You know what I mean? It's like when we at camp, people always say, man, y'all talk too loud. Y'all up here be yelling and doing all this stuff. They don't understand that we have to speak loud because there's people who really want to hear us and really want to ask questions, but they don't never want to come up and ask the question in front of everybody. So they'll like stand around the corner down the street just enough where they know they can hear us and hope that something get answered and then they'll walk away. So we want to make people feel comfortable, especially our people, Blacks, Hispanics, and natives of the land. If they want some, want some answers to something, only way to get it is to come up and ask that question. So that's where a lot of these questions are coming from. And with that said, sir, inquiring minds also want to know, how do you go about starting a school? And why do you call them schools and not churches or synagogues? Because, people see that we're Jews, especially Judah, Levi, and Benjamin parts of us. And they see that word Jew. So they want to know, why do we call these schools where we're at and not churches or synagogues?
Okay. I'm going to start with the first part. How do you start one? It's just like any other organization. It takes people, a body, and you start there. You start you build it from the ground up, just like anything else. You got to get, bring the scriptures, the book. It's just like anything else. And why do we call it schools? Because I'm gonna give you my answer. The reason why we don't want to be affiliated with the church, because the church is an evil institution. It's full of lies. You understand? So school, like any place you go, it's school. School, you come to learn. There's really no learning in the Christian church. It's just foolishness. If you understand what I'm saying, that's why so much of it. So like, and I'm gonna go into a little bit more. Like I said, once again, I was talking to my aunt, and I asked her, what did God call his children? Did he call them Israelites, or did he call them Christians? And she said, well, she went to the scripture, started talking about, I said, being called, and I said, I'm going to just use the generic because I don't want you to know who I'm talking about. I'm going to use, like I said, okay, A for Apple. If I call you Apple, is that your real name, or is that what I call you? She said, well, I still respond. I said, yeah, but that's not the name that it was giving to you. That was a nickname. That you're called something, because you're called a lot of things. We're called monkeys, wetbacks, spics. The Most High God, the God of Abraham and Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He never called them those things. That's why I said called. So
sir.
They called the children of Israel.
That's real heavy. And then just piggybacking off of that, just to let brothers and sisters know, on the outside, if there is no school, how do brothers and sisters meet up?
Oh, there's no school. It's called it's called Windows. I think that's what they call it. It's computer. We're in the age of technology, where you can be on one side of the earth, and you can talk to somebody on the other side of the earth,
and get in on class on the computer.
We have online classes.
How
many days a week?
6 days a week, and really you can say 7, sir, because
really
we can have a class.
To be honest, because
we're having a class right now on a Sunday.
Yes,
kind
sir.
Out of one kind. Kind out of one kind. Excellent answer. That was real heavy right there. We just got a few more to go, sir. Not to take up all your time.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
What is camp, and what is it like having camp?
What is camp? Camp is glorious. Because I look at it this way: all the things that we go through, all the pressure and we go through a lot as a people. And camp, you can go to war, and you can get some of that frustration out. Your woman might be getting on your nerves. You might be at your boss trying to get you fired. You're going through so many. The kids are not listening. It's so many things. So when you get to camp, is where we come together, and we go out and teach the people. It's warfare. That's what it is.
Right.
It's definitely warfare. That's why we have Shamar. We stay on guard, and we're reading these scriptures, and you watch when we read these scriptures, how the devils act up by just reading a simple book. If the book ain't real, what you upset about? And let me tell you this, and something else about Christians. They're always offended, because you touched on about how we talk and yelling and things like that. The Christians or people, they hear us out there yelling. Now, why are they so offended? Because we're just talking, we're saying words. They don't like us cussing, but they're the toughest ones in the streets. Remember, my family bad. They tough as hell in the streets. But when it comes to the word of God, now they're gonna tell us we can't say certain words. The same words they use at home. Same words, they tough in the streets. And all of a sudden, come to the gospel, they sense that they weak.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't say that. But do you know the Jesus that you serve is a sissy? The Jesus that we serve is an austere man. He's hardcore.
Damn right.
He's a revolutionist, right?
That's right.
The Bible ain't about all people coming together. It's about deliverance of a people. Not all people are people, right?
That's heavy.
I thought
real heavy.
I told my grandmother, I thought the moral of the story was God sent his children out 4 corners of the earth, and then he's going to extend his hand and bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
And you got any more questions? Because something I want to tell you what happened to me today.
Okay. Yeah, I got
I can wait. We
just literally got about 3 more questions, sir, and then we're gonna be done with that, and we can go into whatever else.
Yep.
This next question is: what does the ISUPK bring to the communities, and how does it affect the culture for the viewers watching online?
What the ISUPK bring to the community? We feed the community But we don't only just feed them natural food, we feed them spiritual food. We tell them, thus said the Lord, what they need to know, because they've been lied to all their lives in the Christian church or the Muslim mosque. Lied to.
Right.
You don't find something wrong with so many denominations. You don't find nothing wrong with that. If it's all about God, why there's so much of it? It's supposed to be one truth, right? One body, right?
Kind of one kind.
Why is it 50 bodies?
Kind of.
So we bring, I don't want to use the word hope, but I'm going to use the word of what's going to happen, the solution. ISUPK, they bring the solution to the problem. That's what the UPK bring.
Damn right,
This
sir.
is not our end. We are
Damn
great
right.
people, and we'll be back.
That's heavy. That's real heavy. And that's what people don't realize. We do so much, and this is nothing that we have to go out here and talk about, because there's nothing that's going to put any stripes on us. This is the stuff we're supposed to be doing because the Most High said do it, and General Yohana is seeing to it that we do what the Most High said. And so it's an honor to do it. I take pride in going out, giving clothes and food to people, and hoping that more come down. I get mad when the ones don't come down because they may be ashamed or whatever. They just need to come down and just get what they need. And if they need a couple of different things, we're going to give them a couple of different things. That's just how we do. And this is something we take pride in doing in the ISUPK. So that's real heavy what you said right there, sir. What is it like meeting General Yohana, our fearless leader, along with the other generals?
Man, meeting General Yohana, I was like, I usually don't say it. I'll just be honest. I've been around a lot of celebrities in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Never starstruck. But when I met those generals, I was like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was a baby, because what the celebrities did didn't matter. It had no substance to it. It had no life to it. But the generals, General Yohana, meeting him, I was like, Lord, I just thank you. You know what I mean? Because you thought about me. You chose me. You didn't have to do that, you know? So my hero, my dad, that's how I felt. The dad I never had.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt.
Kind out of one kind.
Yeah.
Powerful brother right there. And I'm going to tell you, we go to war. This is what people don't understand. Generals, you know, he walks around at different areas he go to, and he got a shamar around him because, you know, the brother's obviously going to protect the general. But let me tell you something. We go to war, the general will be in the front line before any of us will. That's how powerful and how much of a G he is at this thing. He ain't just preaching something or telling us to do stuff just because he's talking out the side of his neck. He's telling us to do the very thing that he will be the first one to do. And that's what I love about him, man. And I know one of the things, and I'll let you go some more, sir. One of the things I love about General Yohana that I learned even way before I even came into the ISUPK is when I heard the story of when they had that school back on 1 West 125th Street up in Harlem, New York. The brothers would go home at night, and one brother came back and I think he forgot something or something. He went back up there. Here, General Yohana was up there sleeping on the floor in the school. You understand? Wasn't going back to no apartment or nothing like that. He was sleeping in there because he knew this work had to be done. So if he had to stay in the school overnight rather than go get, you know, apartment or whatever it is, he was going to do that because he knew, like, after that, you know, back in them days, like after the split, he knew that he was given a rank to do certain things, and he was going to see to it that it got done, even if it was just going to be him by himself. And when I heard that story, I immediately wanted to be in the ISUPK and mad at myself that I didn't get in there at that point. Who knows how many years that would have been that I would have been in here versus, you know, the time that I've been in here already, man. But that's a powerful brother right there, man. And he's our leader, and I'm proud to work up under him and learn all I can from that brother, man.
Yeah. He I remember a couple of times before I got into the school, and this is me, they watch. They're brothers, you know, they're like my brother's keeper. And I was drinking pretty heavy back then. So I was always trying to stay. I know my mouth, I get loose and start running my mouth, being silly. And I was sitting down when they were sitting in the hotel. And you know, General Hunter come right up to you. That's the type of brother he is. He's on. And one day he snuck up on me. I'm sitting at the table. We in the hotel. I'm sitting at the table, and my rib sitting right beside, you know, sitting across from me, and some other brothers and sisters. And I'm just talking. She talking to me, and you know, I'm a little toe up. I don't even know that brother sitting beside me. He on my left hand side, and I'm just talking. And I looked over there, and I saw him. My eyes got big. I'm telling you, my heart was filling to my shoes. I just froze like. I didn't say nothing. I just got quiet. Yeah. He got me a couple of times with that one.
That's crazy, man.
No, he was sitting beside me the whole time. He's sitting beside me. I didn't even know it.
That's what we needed that recorded, man. So I could be watching that.
Talk to you. He's really like a regular brother, man. That's what he's like, a big brother, man.
Real nigga right there. That's real nigga university right there. As a black man, and this, you know, a lot of people don't understand this while we do this in here. So if you could elaborate on it more, sir, just to get them to understand what we all about. As a black man in the ISUPK, why is it so important to look out for, you know, other brothers like that ain't black, you know, like the Hispanics and the First Nations people, Native Indians and whatnot? Why is it so important to look out for them just as we look out for ourselves as well?
First of all, they are us. They're our brothers. And the scriptures tell us to go out. He said he's going to raise up. That's going to go into what I'm going to tell you in a minute. There's going to be 12,000 leaders to go wake up the 12 tribes of Israel, right? 12,000 from each tribe. So we're commanded to go out to go get our brothers and bring them into the fold to make one body. So we have to take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care and love each other, who's going to love us? The other nations, they refuse.
Kind out of one concept.
They won't do it. So we got to do it. And we got to teach the people who are not in the fold. We got to come back together, because that's just how it is. We just need to come
part of that brotherhood we was talking about earlier.
We got to have brotherhood.
Kind out of one kind. And then the last question of the night, sir, to the blacks, Hispanics, and First Nations people watching for the first time on our show tonight, why should they join the ISUPK?
Well, I'm going to say this. It might not be a good answer, but I'm going to say it, what's in my heart. You should join the UPK because it's the truth. Don't join it just because it's something to do. Come in because you're trying to learn. And don't join us for camps. You might well just stay in the world if you're going to join those Christian churches. Stay out. But the real answer is that you come to UPK, you're all welcome to come, because it can change your life. There's something that can change your life if you listen to the scriptures, listen to the men above you. But if you come to cause damage and you're never going to change, go on about your business. That's how I feel. That's just my answer.
Damn right, sir. All right, that completes our 30. I had 30 questions for you. You went right through them, sir. Razor sharp. And that's what the people need out here. So as you people can see that's watching anywhere around, not just the ISUPK members that might be on here watching, this is mainly for people that's not in ISUPK to be watching. So y'all can see that, you know, y'all, we're not that far off from where you're at. You understand? We came in here for a reason. We was lost. You understand? But then we realized what the truth was, and we came in here, and you heard the brother's answers all the way through. So if you had questions and they never got answered for you, the brother just answered them for you with those questions. Anybody that may have came in late, I inquire that you go back and watch this. This will be on YouTube in Northern Ohio. You can go on back and watch it back and get you some answers. And of course, you want to type in any questions or anything like that down the road, and we see them, we can always answer when we have our class on another night. Just keep in mind too that tomorrow is the mandatory Monday night history class. Where you'll see myself and Priest and Officer Malakama on here tomorrow at 7 p.m. like usual. And it's from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to have a very powerful lesson for you, like usual. So make sure y'all tune in for that. And obviously on Tuesdays, you want to also tune in for Captain Hadar's class as well, which is the Tuesday night mandatory scripture breakdown class. Where you can type in your questions, like the brother said tonight. You ain't got to be at the school. You can just get on your computer and punch in ISUPK Detroit, ISUPK Cleveland, ISUPK Toronto, and just get in there and ask questions, and it'll get answered. Don't be afraid to ask anything. Captain Hadar is razor sharp, as is most ISUPK individuals, and your answers you'll get the answers that you need. And let me warn you ahead of time, it ain't gonna be an answer that you want. It's gonna be an answer that you need. That's what it is. That's what it is in here. Don't come in here with the expectation of somebody answering you so that you feel good at the answer that you get. When you ask a question, be ready for a real answer. You've seen that movie, what's that? A Few Good Men. You always see Jack Nicholson on there. He says, you don't want to tell the truth. You can't handle the truth. That's some real talk right there. People always ask questions and don't want the truth. That's why they hate ISUPK so much, because we're going to give you the truth whether you want it or not. We're going to say it right to your face. We're going to be downtown at camp like Priest and Officer Malakama was just talking about. We're going to be downtown at camp in a major city, perhaps here in Cleveland or Detroit or Pittsburgh or Toronto, wherever we're going to be at, Chicago, wherever we're going to be at. And we're going to tell this white man the truth out here right to his face. And then we're going to tell him he's the damn devil that the Bible speak of for all the wrongs he done to us and so many people around the earth. We're going to tell the truth. And that's just how it is to it. This is the home of the truth. This is the ISUPK. And I just wanted y'all to know that. This was a powerful, powerful interview we had with my brother here. And anything else you wanted to, I know you said there's something else you wanted to talk about, sir. Was that something you want to talk about live on while we still on here live?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna share this. Today, of course, I'm under the weather a little bit again for the second week. So I went to go get some orange juice. I need to get some vitamin C. I mean, the doctor told me I need some vitamin D, so I got some pills for that. So I was at the grocery store today. And no, actually, I wasn't at the grocery store. I was at Kohl's taking a product back to Amazon.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what race this lady was, but I knew she was with Edom. I know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. But I think she might have been an Israelite. I don't know. She might have been Edom, but I really, really, really want looking at hard, paying attention. I had my shield on today, my coat.
Okay.
12 tribes, 144,000.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, "Excuse me, sir." So I turned around and looked, and she said, "What is that? 144,000." So I proceeded to tell her. I said, "Well, that's 12,000 from each tribe. There's 12 tribes of Israel. That's going to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel all over the earth. God scattered us 4 corners of the earth, and He's going to extend His hand again to bring us back into the land." And so she's like, "Oh." So I hit her with a couple scriptures. I hit her, with Isaiah. Well, I know my fault. I mean, Psalms 83. Hit her with one of those scriptures. And I was telling her, I said, what you see and I went into the store. I was like a little bit. She was trying to get the history. I said, we were scattered four corners. I said, you see, we don't have a military. Our God fights our battles. When we obey him, he fights our battle. He make our enemies to be at peace with us. I said, and what you're seeing the book being fulfilled right before your eyes. We've been asleep for over 400 years in slavery, even today. I said, the moral of the story is we're going to go back home and rule with righteousness. And all the nations are going to learn of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
God.
And do you know that Edomite was standing right there? And he looked at her and said, see, I told you.
He's pierced in the spirit.
Yeah, he said, see, I told you. And she said, oh, he's using Bible scriptures too. And something told me to put that coat on today, right? I hadn't wore that coat at all this year. Really, I haven't worn it. So, of course, I want to get a couple more, but I wore it today. And it's something about putting that shield on my back. It renews my spirit when I put it on. It's like all eyes on me. You get what I'm saying?
Damn right, sir.
Like, damn, look what the Lord done with me, a wretch, And it's feel like all eyes on me, and I'm empowered when I got that shield on. I said, it got the UPK on it and all that. I said, I got my brothers who got my back, and I got their back. And it's pride comes along with that coat, but it's not a negative pride. It's a good pride. I have a good heritage. I have a relationship with the Most High, a bloodline, of people who was destroyed. But even though in our calamity, I'm still proud. I'm a proud people. You know what I mean? Proud people. And that jacket just, wow. It was powerful.
That's heavy, sir.
Yeah.
That's heavy. And see, that's how it goes down.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Most High move on us like that. He'll move on our spirit.
Right.
And you know what, man, I'm gonna throw this jacket on. Or you know what? You might be in the crib chilling, and then just all of a sudden your spirit heat up and you like, man, let me go ahead and make this run. I gotta make this run and go such and such place. And you go in there and then you see stuff like that happen with you tonight, and then you realize, okay, I see why I had to move and get in here. That one person needed to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, like a little kid. I said, my God is better than your God. You know what I mean? It's that type of feeling like your God is fake, my God is real.
Kind number one kind. That's heavy right there. Real heavy. People need to realize, man, this is a powerful thing, man. Like you said earlier, I'm in here to the death. Like I've been studying UPK for X amount of years, and I already knew that I should have been in here even before I got in here. And when I got in here, I realized, man, what was I doing, man? You get around the brothers, man, and you see that brotherhood like he was talking about earlier at the Passover and everything, but not just at the Passover, but any of the events we go to, man. You see brothers come in from Chicago and California and New York and, Pittsburgh, Carolina, everywhere. They come in from everywhere. And it's like we've been knowing each other for like 30 years. And some of us just met then. And some of us, we maybe only met just a couple times or a few times. And then it's like, as soon as we meet up, it's like we've been knowing each other
right
a million years, man. That brotherhood is so much of a weapon, man. You hear you always hear the generals say that. You hear the captains say that, higher ranking officers say that, and you just really see it come to fruition every single time when you get around the brothers, man. You go in that what was that? About a month or two ago, we went up to Detroit, and we get up there, and we was gonna go to a big festival and do some things with Captain Mawquad and the brothers from Chicago, but that wound up getting clipped for some kind of reason. I think a Charlie dude wound up getting murked or something, and so they wound up clipping that thing or whatever. So we wind up just having Sabbath class, and it was my first experience to have a Sabbath class at the Detroit school, and I'm sitting down there, and the brother hit me on the shoulder like, Here you go, man. This brother brought me a plate full of food, man. Some of the best food. And we sit down, enjoying class, going through the scripture, that whole thing, and just really being able to enjoy some real nice food. And then they come back around, brother, you need something to drink or something like that. Man, I mean, just treat you like royalty, man. And you can't help but respect that, man, and really like tell yourself, man, why ain't I been in here, man? Like, I'm tripping, man. I know I've been in here a couple years now, but man, I should have been in here years ago. When I first learned about the truth, I should have been in here. I should have just seeked it out and just did something, man. It just make you feel like, man, I let them years before that go by. That's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad you had the experience where even before you came in here, you still was kicking it with the brothers. You was going to all the events and things of that nature. So they still accepted you like
they did.
Like you was UPK anyway.
Man, they killed me with kindness, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't planning on joining. I was going to just be a nomad and just, just show up, just keep the commandments. And I was going to be like an individual. Like, I talked to Captain Hadar. Mm-hmm. He's captain now. And I talked to Officer Laban. Mm-hmm. And the brothers, they was like, brother, you need to go and get in here. You're here all the time. He said, you're here at every event. I was like, yeah, pretty much I am. So
come on up in here, man. I can get it. Them some solid brothers right there too.
Yes, sir.
Captain Hadar, man, Laban, Precinct Officer 5K Laban. Them, I tell you, man, them are some real solid brothers right there. Absolutely. You get up and you meet them, man. Meet up with them and talk to them. Conversations is just incredible, man. They put seeds on you, man, and you just go on and learn something from that, and it have you thinking about them differently. Like, man, these cats is real solid, man. Like, it's like you've been knowing these dudes. Like I said, it's like you've been knowing them for 30 years. When some of them you only met 5 minutes or something like that, and it's like you've been knowing them all for like a X amount of years. It's just crazy how it is in here, man. And let you know that the Most High is on top of this. The Most High got his hand on this, man.
That's the spirit of being one body.
Mm-hmm.
We feel each other's infirmities.
Mm-hmm.
We feel it all because we're one body.
And a lot of us got a lot of the same similarities more than differences. That's a fact in here in the ISUPK. I love it. Love it. What we got? Now I'm a shout on here. Born an Israelite, die an Israelite. The original Jews of the Bible. ISUPK, the home of the truth. That's coming from my rib. So y'all out there watching, you see it's coming from the women. It's coming from the sisters. You understand? You always hear us fellas say it. Y'all always asking, where your rib at? Where's your women at? We don't never see them. Well, they're not going to be at camp because we at war at camp. You understand? Our job is to protect our ribs.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think maybe one day you might not have to put her image on the screen because you got to protect your women? You think one day that you can interview your wife? Because I like how you came up with the idea with an interview. I never thought about it, but you ever think about just interviewing your rib? Not, don't put her image up there for people to know who she is, but just ask her questions. That'd be something interesting for a Spin the Block.
God, I would
see
love
how
to
the women feel about being in the UPK, since we abuse our women according to what people say, which it doesn't make sense. Everybody has issues in their family. It's no big deal.
Kind. That's an excellent question, sir. I would love to interview my rib. My rib is real powerful, man. Very intelligent woman, man, and she is really she got a zeal that's out of this world when it comes to this truth. And I love to do it, you know what I mean? Because I know that she gonna bring it, man, and let people know what the real deal is. I'm saying Sister Nadabar right here. She said, I wouldn't mind being interviewed. See, fellas, we got sisters out here that's heavy in the truth, just like we are. And they could tell you some things on their, what sisters go through and how sisters handle things. So that's something down the road we may have to get into, sir, on this Spin the Block podcast.
Yeah, I think because we got more freedom on Spin the Block, where they can come in, they can tell their truth, tell what the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. It's all good,
Kind out of one kind. That may be something down the road we can get into, because we definitely got a tremendous amount of topics we can go over on the Spin the Block. We want to definitely cover some things and let people know. Definitely want to get the other brothers on here too. Our two brothers we missing tonight, Precinct Officer Bakiyar Gabar and Precinct Officer Nishat Amah. Two great brothers right there. We need to get them back on the podcast and get this thing up. I'm wondering if them brothers is free on like Sundays or something like that, where we can do something like that. And I'm shot my rib said, great idea, priest.
Yeah, I was reading that. I was thinking, since the women ain't got no voice, like we just got them in the stranglehold. They go on now.
You're right.
They could just, say what they have to say. Our women got voices. They just don't preach. They don't teach. I shouldn't say preach, but they don't teach.
That
ain't a woman's place. And any man that a woman teach over them in the congregation is wrong. You're going against the scriptures. There's no such thing as female preachers. I keep saying preacher. It's like female. Women teach the children. They teach, but they don't teach men.
Kind out of one kind.
Yeah. They just don't understand. We protect our women, our wives, so we don't have them out there. And because this is warfare, this is spiritual warfare when we're out there battling. Because if this wasn't a real thing, if the Bible was a fairy tale, no one would get upset about that. Because who's mad about Jack and the Beanstalk? And that's a lie. But so there's something in their spirit when they hear that Bible. So you have to protect the women, because you never know. You saw what happened when we were in Cleveland when the what you say, the Leviticus, you say it for me.
Yeah, the Leviticus, as
Leviticus.
Sorry, I say it all the time.
Spitting on us and just acting a fool because we're reading the Bible. They don't want to hear their sins, and all they got to do is just walk away. Why you want to fight? They act like we're saying these things. All we're doing is reading the Bible.
Reading the Bible.
Amazing.
It's called dialogue. If you see something you don't like in the Bible, that's not our problem. Stand there right there and state your cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? See if what you're doing and what you can tell us can make some sense. I'm going to sit there and listen to you, because if whatever I got to do to get to a brother or a sister of ours, and I don't care if you're gay or any of that, if we can get to you to get you this truth, to get you on the straight and narrow, I'm going to do it. If I got to sit there and listen to you, try to explain something to me, and I got to do what I got to do to get you on the right path. And let's dialogue, like you said. Don't get to start over talking me, cussing me out, and trying to spit on me and all them sorts of things, because you out here trying to push your lifestyle. And because when I see you do stuff like that, that's letting me know that even deep down inside that it's wrong.
It's wrong.
Or you wouldn't react like that.
Yeah. Why would you care what we talking about? Y'all doing lesbian, homosexual. We ain't jumping on you, spitting on you.
Kind out of one kind. Yeah. We got anything else over there to read from the sisters?
So like I was reading with your rib at type. I said, we'll see if we can get that approved.
Yeah.
And see how they would want it to be formatted. That if we could possibly do that interview with the women. So we'll see if we can get that approved.
Let's see. We got Sister Nadaba on here. We always getting asked about multiple wives. LOL.
All the time.
All the time. And then
two things they worry about: multiple wives, and can Esau be saved? That's all I heard my whole journey since I've been an Israelite.
And then it has let's see, Sister Nadaba also said, our UPK men are real life superheroes. Sis, that's real heavy right there. That's real heavy. Appreciate that. Most High in Christ. We definitely try to go out here and do what we do. I'm to this point, you know, once you become a priest, and I'm just speaking for myself, sir, and you can obviously speak for yourself, but where I'm at right now, when you become a priest and, you know, you get your name and you get moved up in here and all that kind of stuff, the last thing I want to do is do something where I'm disrespecting or sinning against the Most High. It's like I watch myself real heavy now, like real careful. I don't want none of them, because where we at now, all these scriptures, you know, we read these scriptures all the time. Man, the Most High will put us to death faster than he'll put somebody else outside of here to death. That's how much this mean to him. We signed ourselves. We pretty much put our life on the line to be up under him forever in here. You know what I mean? We sworn to this. And so we really got to think about things that we say, things that we do. And then there's things that we supposed to be doing all the time that we actually should just be doing without even a second thought too, as well, which all falls up under these commandments and, you know, laws and statutes. And it just make you look at life different. It really do. When you in here and you really see, used to hear that in the Christian church all the time growing up. Yeah, I put on my new man of Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't none of them ever put on no new man of Christ. You understand? They'll get baptized with some water and they come up and just be a wet whatever they was before that. And then it's like, yeah, I got my new man of Christ on. I done got baptized. No. Here in the ISUPK, you really get a new man of Christ on. Not only do you get that new man or woman of Christ on, but you also get a new name. You understand? You're not even the same person you was before. That's how deep it is. That's what's really putting on your new man of Christ or woman of Christ. When you come up in here, that old name I used to be in the world, that's gone. That government name, that's gone. You understand? I'm Shalak Ya'ala, weapon of the Lord.
Weapon of the Lord.
And that's what it is now. Family gonna have to recognize that. Friends gonna have to recognize that. This is where it's at now. Ain't none of them Christmas parties, Thanksgiving, none of them pagan holidays, birthdays, none of that. I ain't getting down with none of it. And they just got to understand that. And that's just what it is. They can get mad or do whatever. You know what I mean? I'm following the Most High.
That's right, Shalak. They really don't understand how serious. I mean, they don't have, you know, I pray that they get the spirit of the Lord, because they really don't. They think the Bible tells you to you know, examine what you're doing, you know, see that you are, you know, I'm trying to paraphrase, I'm trying to get the scripture. How did it go? What you might think is light, make sure it's light. What you think is light could be, it's not light. Well, I'm just saying in English, just regular. Yeah. When you're in, prime example, if you're in a religion or whatever it is, and you can't explain what you're in, there's something wrong. If you can't explain, you go to a scripture that says God so loved the world, then you read a scripture that says love not the world. You can, how do you believe one or the other? You just believe one, then ignore the other. If you can't, that can't be explained to you. You know right. You're in the wrong place. If someone can't answer that, because everything has context.
And you'll be out here confused.
Don't lead. I mean, like the Bible tells you that they're called the lost sheep. Sheep follow each other. They're dumb. That's what God called his people. He didn't call the other nations dumb sheep. He says he's going to separate the sheep from the goat. Who's called the sheep? The children of Israel. Who's the goat? The other nations. You know. So if you can't explain why you believe what you believe, then you know something is wrong. Then you're off. You're not on the right path. It's just that simple. You can't just believe in magic, because that ain't how it works.
Damn right, sir. That's it. That's where it's at right there. All right. You got anything else you want to touch up on before we? end this tonight? I know we still got a little bit of night yet.
No, I think that's about it for me. Unless I'm gonna get a chance to interview you because you that was a good one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, next time we come on, you can interview me. You got the questions as well. So
right, and we
or if there's anything else you want to ask me, so
yeah, I'm shocked because I did want to. I was dying to ask you. I'm just ask you just one. I'm just say one thing, then I'm gonna leave the interview where it's about you and not about me. Yeah. But I'm gonna ask you one thing, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, because you're my cousin.
Kind of one cousin.
We didn't always hang out,
but
we know about each other. We've been in each other's presence from time to time. And I know your story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we are really cousins, you guys. That's my cousin right there.
Another one.
And we didn't even know we didn't even know that each other knew the truth until later on in life. So
that's correct.
What I want to go into with the question I want to ask you is all those heartaches and heartbreaks and the chatter that you heard growing up, them talking about, you know, your parents and the things that you have to do and how you had to grow up and be a man. You grew up a man. You wasn't really allowed to be a child.
Kind of the one concept.
You had to grow up too damn fast for me, and I wish you would got to enjoy your childhood more. But you know, the Lord, you know, I feel the Lord put us in position. He don't put on us more than we can bear. So I understand that why I went through the things that I went through. So my question to you is, now you're here. How do you feel that your life, the things that you went through, how do you think that bettered you? And do you contribute to where you're at right now because of your childhood? Do you feel that you was chosen?
I absolutely 110% feel like I was chosen, sir, for sure. To be honest with you, oddly enough, I definitely wouldn't ever change anything about how I grew up, even though it was rough as hell growing up. And at them times when it was going on, I'm thinking like, man, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, you know, you feel like you need both of your parents to be there for you and things of that nature. And then you realize you got siblings younger than you and I'm the oldest. And so I just quickly got into like big brother, like parent mode for my siblings because I realized that they look up to me. You know what I mean? They listen to me. All my siblings always listened to me. You understand? And so I realized that, okay, even though I wasn't getting what I needed, I realized that they had me to depend on and they couldn't depend on, you know, our parents at times. And that was rough. So that's what I turned to. I turned to that. And I turned to sports, really. I turned to playing football and things of that nature just to keep my mind occupied and away from the struggles I was dealing with. Because it's easy. People come over, man, offer you a little something drug-wise. Hey, man, you get this, man, going to sell this, man. You can have this. You ain't got to worry about being broke and not eating and all that. I turned down all of that. I didn't want to deal with none of that. And the Most High had his hand on me. Every time I was going through something crazy, he always opened up something for me. All of my friends' parents, even though I was rough as hell growing up, you understand? Hood ass cat from the projects. I always had great respect. I did learn that from my parents. Great respect for my friends' parents, from my teachers, my coaches, whoever. And but all my friends' parents, I was always their favorite friend of their kid. You understand? My friends' parents always had me as like they number one friend. Now that's who you need to be hanging around right there. They get that all the time because they know that they felt like I just made great decisions for where I came from.
You did,
and I carry that with me to this day. That's why I say I won't never change nothing as to what I went through because those was life lessons. You understand? When people weren't there for me, I just went and cooked my damn self. I cooked something for my brothers, you understand, and my sisters came along later but I cook for my brothers and just look out for them, man. And then when I moved out and wind up moving with my pops, even though my brothers were still kind of like up under my mom at the time, they would just come over to my dad's house and spend the night with me up in my room. I had I never even slept in my bed. I had a couch in my room upstairs. I don't know if you remember that when we over at the old hood over there off of Oak over there.
Oak Street.
Yeah, off of Oak Street. I had a couch in my room. I always slept on the couch. Anybody that come stay the night, cousin, friend, brothers, whoever, they all slept in a bed that was already made up, clean sheets, everything. Because I always just slept on the couch. I've always been a couch and a floor guy. I ain't never needed too much, wanted too much. But grew up, parents, mess around with dope through pretty much most of my life. And obviously my dad wound up checking out back in 2019. But one good thing I will say is my mom, I'm really proud of her, man. Because my mom cleaned herself up. You understand? She got off that lifestyle she used to have. And she grew up real rough on the street anyway. But and growing up in that, she got involved with things on the street, and which wasn't a nice life for her. You understand? Which ultimately wasn't a nice life for me and my siblings. But one thing I can say about her, man, more than a decade, she's been off that crazy shit, man. And hats off to my mom for that, man. Love her dearly for that. She put that down, walked away from that, and obviously she in the Christian church, but that's a start, you know what I mean? And she been in there for a little while and changed her life around as far as how she used to live. So I respect that church for that, you know what I mean? And I respect her for that. And that's the only thing I ever wanted for her, was to be able to get away from that and to do that. And it's kind of crazy because throughout me growing through life, growing up the way I had to grow up, like you said, I had to be grown early. Since I've been 12 years old, 11, 12 years old, I've been a grown man pretty much. You understand?
Yep.
And
very mature.
Yeah. And so I just had to figure things out by myself. And then I got to the point where I understand my parents was doing their thing. Well, then as I got grown, going into my 20s and 30s and even to my 40s, I think differently now. I run my life differently. I got a rib that got my back 200%. You know what I'm saying? And she gonna rock with me no matter what. And vice versa. She already know I'd die for her in a heartbeat. And so that's how we live. And then a lot of people say, man, you don't come around that much. You don't call that much. You don't do this that much. And I understand that. But see, when I was trying to do that, people ain't had time for me. You understand what I'm saying? So now I done develop what I do. You know what I mean? And that's live my life. And now I done ran into this ISUPK, man, and it's truth. And I recognize that it's a lot of brothers and sisters that have the same similarities as I do. You understand? Went through things I went through. And it's just, that's what make you respect the brotherhood and the sisterhood all that much more. Being able to experience that and go through that. And I love to sit down with some of them brothers and really just and get them my side, and we can just kind of trade off and things of that nature. But I know we're gonna catch some brothers and some sisters in when we out at giving out flyers and things of that nature. We're gonna catch some that lived in their life like that and went through things like that. And that's gonna be a perfect opportunity for me to grab that brother or sister and put something on their mind. You understand? Ain't no excuse they can come up with to me. I done dealt with people when they say stuff like, man, I'm only doing this, man, because, my mom and dad wasn't in my life and blah, 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 blah. Brother, I had that same situation, brother, but you know what you got to do? You still got to be you. You still got to respect yourself. And you can't be out here doing ignorant ass shit, going to jail or possibly getting murdered out here for doing something stupid. So you still got to use your mind and your brain and make good decisions. It don't matter what kind of lifestyle you got. You still alive. And if you're walking around and you got some clothes and shoes on, you ain't that bad. Because there's some people out here that don't have that, laying in a gutter somewhere out in the cold and ain't got no house to go into. So you still got a house you can go into, you still got shoes, you still got clothes, you still making it. Now you might not be able to go and buy you some Jordans. You might not be able to go and get you a whip or bike or whatever it is. You understand? Because you don't have no money or nothing like that. But make do with what you got and always try to better yourself. And that's what my mind frame been my whole life. And that's pretty much how I live it, sir. And that's pretty much it. For sure. And I hope people see this that's in the family and even friends, because then they get a better understanding. And then just come talk to me. Call me. Let's talk. I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? I don't hide nothing. I keep it. And one thing people know about me is I'm 100. You know what I mean? I'm always been 100. And sometimes people get offended by that. They think I'm too hard. But I'm just real. That's all. And my rib is the same way. If you can't take it, then you need to be going elsewhere, because we ain't changing like that. We got to keep it 100. That's just how it is. And now that I'm in the UPK, they inquire you to keep it 100. You understand? When you're in the UPK, everybody in there 100. So that's just what it is. That's what it is. Yep. But that's it, sir. That's pretty much. I won't change nothing. How I raised up. It helped me. It helped build me into a warrior that I am. You know what I mean? And it made me say, "Hey, they ain't doing it. I got to do it." That's what it came down to. And I'm a man any damn way, so we got to go out here and get it. We got to get it out the mud. Ain't nobody gonna take care of us. That's just what it come down to. We got to take care of ours. Yep. But that's it, sir. I'm gonna if you ain't got nothing else, I'm gonna go ahead and close the class out for the night. This is powerful, bringing Spin the Block back. Hopefully next week we can get the brothers on here and see what else we can come up with. In the meantime, we'll check into that interview thing, see how that goes with the captain and whatnot.
Con.
Yep. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us tonight on Spin the Block. I'm Precinct Officer 50 Shalak Allah.
I'm Precinct Officer 500 Malakama.
And we are 2 of the 4 of Spin the Block. So hopefully we can join in again next week. Probably Sunday. We'll see. When we come on, y'all see us come on live. Y'all just tune in and we're going to rock out.
Yes, sir.
Shalom, Lord Christ.
Shalom, Lord Christ.